everybody. Here we are on Inferno Pools. Sorry about a couple of delays, just a few technical issues to sort out, but it's all smooth sailing from here on out. And our first player is up in the top right-hand corner. Kicking off Group E tonight. It is the Green Zerg player from My Insanity, PengWin.
And his opponent in the bottom right-hand corner, representing My Insanity in the red trunks, the Terran player, Smile, representing Peru, I believe. So this will be fun, as always, in this group, as we were saying, very, very diverse in nations that they represent.
Yeah, really cool. And, of course, we've got a little bit of a team kill going on, but PengWin is actually the My Insanity team captain, so I reckon he's got a pretty good idea of Smile's playstyle, because obviously, as the team captain, he's the guy who sort of, I guess all the players would be their first stop for coaching or advice or, you know, what's going on. So we could see some really interesting, like, specific build orders coming out of either PengWin or Smile to, like, make use of this.
Yeah, definitely. It'll be really interesting to see how these two players interact with each other. Both starting off with an incorrect scout. For PengWin, it is an incorrect overlord. Smile will be an SCV, so the SCV should do it a little bit faster, but actually PengWin in the right-hand corner will scout Smile right off the bat here. Seeing his gas, 3 gas, we'll hopefully see, well, yeah, it's following through on it, not moving. Sometimes you see the Zerg players kind of go halfway and then jerk off to the side, which I don't really think is a good idea here. He does spot both gas, and it will be a Marine coming out first for Smile. Pretty normal Reaper Fast expand here. Now, on Inferno Pools, do you think there's any matchup-specific architecture features to this map in these positions? Because I feel like this definitely would favor either player in an air attack, but definitely maybe PengWin more because he can get out those mutas that can attack air or ground.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously you've got the fairly short air rush distances. The Reaper rush distance is also incredibly short. It can jump down several cliffs to, you know, give it a little bit of an edge, and we'll see it come into the main base in a second. There's that special little Reaper ramp. Aside from that, it's also, if you look at the third base choices, PengWin has hit. He's either expanding towards his opponent, which is fairly undesirable in most matchups, but especially so in Zerg vs Terran. Nice making the Durance to Spore Club there. Or he takes the goal base as a third, which has that high ground behind it. Again, you know, not much further away from his Terran opponent, and very, very easy for Smile to just push towards and secure that high ground location, particularly if he can get some Hellbats or Widowmines up in the ramps onto there. It can be extremely difficult to push him off of that. So I definitely don't think these are the spawn locations PengWin really wanted here.
Yeah, I agree with you. It'll definitely be a lot easier for Smile to defend his position here, and especially with the Reapers, or at least on any map, especially this map, since the Reapers can jump up those those cliffs. It'll be very, very hard for PengWin to deal with them for a little while. And what I really like from from Smile here, PengWin is in Ding and Chat. Yes, he is in Ding and Chat. Smile actually targeting down this Queen, getting some nice micro, and hopefully we'll save. We'll save both these Reapers. For a second, I thought Reaper on the bottom might die, but looks like he will keep up with constant harassment. But really, a few seconds speed is done, and there's just so many lings. Smile can't really do much against this. We'll decide to go into the natural of PengWin, see what he can scout. Actually, not doing that. He had it there for a second, then pulled back.
Yeah, there's not really much going on for PengWin. He just had that Roach Warren down, though, so if Smile could see that, that would be a little bit of a tip off as to exactly what PengWin's doing, but Smile has his own plans as well, and it looks like there's going to be some Banshees on the way. The double gas tech lab going down right next to that starport. Probably going to be seeing Banshees and Cloak, and probably a couple of Banshees as well. He could also later on throw in an armory and go for a Hellbat Banshee push, but not so sure about that. We'll have to see what comes out. PengWin's going to run a few lings up. I think he's just looking for scouting information more than anything here, really.
Yeah, definitely looking for some scouting information, but I feel like Smile's going to be finally prepared for this. If they really do get through past these Hellions, the Reapers should be able to deal with them quite quickly. 2 Reapers should be able to do with that. And really, as long as Smile can pull up these the supply depots, he should be okay. Definitely won't be able to spot the 2 gases, but his army is moving out. 4 Hellions, 2 Reapers. If Smile poked in right now, I'm sorry. If PengWin poked in right now, he could get a lot of scouting information off, or at least do some damage to the natural, but it doesn't look like we'll see that. Smile will engage the roaches of Penguin right here with these Hellions, so not the best idea. It would actually lose one Hellion and one Reaper right there. Pulling back now. A little bit worried for Smile in this position just because I feel like these roaches, not super early, but definitely Smile's composition here is not what he wants for a stay mostly roach at this point.
No, not particularly, but it's going to be tough. Penguin's morphing quite a few Banelings, but he's morphing them almost in complete vision of that Banshee. So if the Banshee does see them, it's actually moving back. It could have, if it stayed out there a little bit longer, it could have picked off a lot of those Banelings before they actually managed to hit Smile's natural. But right now, Smile actually does have a bit of a gap in his natural, so the Banelings might not be needed at all. A few Lings going in, trying and bait out some Widowmine shots, but I don't think they're going to get any. Which means the Roaches have to tank them as best they can. And it will take one. The Banelings coming down, they're going to bust down that bunker. They're going to take a couple of Widowmine hits, but not too big of a deal. There's still 2 more Banelings left, 1 more, and the Banshees are picking them off. But Penguin has a lot of Lings, no depots walled off. The Hellbats are going to morph in. They're going to deal pretty well with the Lings, but the Roaches, not so well.
Very, very surprised by not seeing one of those depots go up. I really expected the more northern position depot to go up just so the Lings would be funneled towards these Hellbats, but it doesn't look like that'll happen. Some Banelings being morphed in the main of Smile. These Lings going, trying to work on the refinery, don't do much there. And I really like from Penguin here, I'm very curious, is normally in this position from a Zerg player, you just keep pressing and keep pressing. But right now Penguin's actually saying, no, I'm gonna stay back a little bit, just macroing up right now. I'm curious whether he's gonna take a third or tech up to layer and go for a very, very large push. But he's only got 1 gas, though. 2 now.
Yeah, he's just gassing up now. And, yeah, I mean, usually when I see Roach bailing, it's a Roach bailing all in. But he stopped committing to that halfway through. And he's now trying to take a third base. It's going to be a tough one to defend, though. As I said, like, the third base for Zerg is really quite difficult to take in this map. The fourth base doesn't really get any easier unless you kind of expand to one of the other spawns up in the top right, in which case your bases are very, very spread out. And it kind of looks like Smile was gearing up for a Hellion Banshee sort of push with a few Marauders mixed in, and Penguin doesn't really have much to stop these Banshees from just killing his third base, and it's going to be really tough to stop these Banshees from just doing it again and again and again, because aside from the inconvenient locations, the third bases are far away enough that it takes a long time to spread creep there to any of them so the Queens can get there.
Most definitely. I think it might have favored Penguin to just keep pushing with Roaches. Now that he's lost that kind of advantage he had when Smile was not in a great position there, and when he had his walls down, I feel like it's going to be a little bit hard for Penguin to do something here. These, I'm sorry, I keep messing these up. No, yeah, Penguin. Keep thinking Smile is the Zerg and Penguin is the Terran for some reason. That's not the case. We Smile targeting down 1 queen. We'll take out that other queen. And only 2 queens in this position right here. They really need to hold by this Spore Crawler. Smile with some nice micro here. But we do see in the main of Penguin double Evo chamber. So far not getting any Hydralisks down. I was expecting that to go down, but doesn't look like we'll see it yet. Apparently Penguin feels safe, or at least okay in this position.
Yeah, he's just trying to pick off these Banshees. Will eventually get one, but the Queen's on very, very low health in turn, and the Banshees could well click in. Yeah, 1 more hit will take. So now there's nothing to contest the Banshees. A few more Queens are on the way, but without the kind of safety radius of that Spore Crawl that gives them vision, they really can't do anything. There's no mobile detection on the field just yet. Although one of the Banshees has run out of energy.
Yeah, did definitely run out of energy, but still with that, I don't really think it's the cloak which is the issue right here. It's just that there's nothing to attack the air except for these 2 queens. We do see out of Penguin the reason why he's waiting instead of getting Hydralisks done, going for Spire, which as we were saying earlier, I really like in these spawn positions. Definitely the Meadows can hit very hard in this natural. And from Smile, it does look like going into that heavy barracks play, or at least bio play. Earlier on, I saw, what did I see out of him? I was just seeing the bunkers go down, so I was like, well, I assume he's going to make Marines to go in them and not just make bunkers sitting there, because it's not really such a wise idea, and we'll see that. And also from Smile, the preemptive armory, so definitely trying to get his upgrades, maybe not early, but trying to prepare to get those quick upgrades. I feel like he definitely knows that Penguin play, I mean, we saw him go double Evo before the Spire went down, even when he was in a tricky situation, so I feel like both these players, or at least Penguin, really favors those upgrades early on. Or not early on, but definitely knows that he will be favoring these upgrades.
Yeah, definitely. Although his upgrades are a little later than you'd see in most Zerg play. Most Zerg players would have the 1-1 finished and the 2-2 a little bit on the way by now, but Penguin has, of course, invested a little bit into that Roach Bane attack and into a fairly fast Spire. before actually getting his upgrades down. So they're a little bit late compared to where they would be in a typical ace. And Penguin's typical aiming. And Penguin's actually taking an interesting approach to this. He's actually had 3 hat trees all building at the same time. Well, he still does, but one of them macro hat tree. Oh no, he's started rebuilding it. So he's trying to triple expand right now. In a just sort of, I guess, this sort of an effort to like try and throw as many bases out on the map and see which ones stick. Because as I said, it's taking a 4th base on this, or 3rd base even on this map is really, really tough. And this one I don't think is going to stick. Yep, Penguin Reeves is going to cancel it. And Smile's actually got a choice here. He can push on to the natural, he can try and deny another 3rd base, and it looks like he's just going to go straight for natural.
Yeah, Smile going straight for the natural here now. I'd normally say these Mutas are in a great position, but this composition from Smile, Hellbat Marine is very, very hard to deal with, at least right now. Roach is trying to engage the front of that army, but not actually being able to because of these Marines. Muta's trying to do something. Bainley's going in first, getting some nice hits, actually bypassing Hellbats, trying to go for the tanks, but they will be taken out. Muta is targeting down the tank, trying to take it down desperately. Roach is going for the Marines, but GG. Smile takes the first game in PengWin vs. Smile in, I don't know if I'd say really decisively, but definitely all the battles seem to have gone his way, except for the beginning. But even the first one, he only lost 9 SCVs, even though 30-odd Lings got into his main. Welcome back to ASL Challenger League, round of 32, Group E, and in the bottom spawn position on Vani Research Station, the pink Terran representing my insanity, we have Smile.
And his opponent is going to be spawning up in the tip-top spawn of Vani Research Station. He is the My Insanity team captain. He's playing as the Green Zerg. He is PengWin.
As we were saying, just in the last game, PengWin is the team captain, like you said, and so I was kind of expecting to him have a little bit of a lead, and it seemed very early on in that game that he did, but we definitely saw Smile come back and punish him or not punish him, but definitely come back and take that game. So I'm curious what he's going to do on this map now, because I feel like we were saying it'll be interesting to see the dynamics of these players, because they do know how each other play quite well and on the same team.
Yeah, and Vani Research Station is a very, very different beast than Inferno Pools. I think I kind of feel that PengWin will be a bit more comfortable on that. Inferno Pools has a lot of features that players on both sides really of a ZVT matchup will feel a little bit uncomfortable about. Obviously, a lot of the layout of the map kind of favors Terran just in the way, especially in the spawns they got, where in the way it's quite difficult for Zerg to take a 3rd base. But the massive wide open spaces means that a little bit later on, when you get big engagements, they quite often go the way of the Zerg player, just because of how much flexibility they have to really get into the Terran army and dictate the terms of the engagement.
Yeah, it's definitely a very wide open map, which at least on this map, Vani, it is pretty wide open in some areas, like around the Zelnaga Tower, but it also just isn't quite as big as Inferno Pools. It doesn't provide as large as an area to kind of go around and do some counterattacks. We will see the first, interesting, the first scout from PengWin going to the natural of Smile. And I actually really like that, because really in this position you're saying, okay, is my opponent going to do some crazy rush or the normal Reaper play right here? And so definitely, okay, I see the natural going down, I'm okay right now, and hopefully we'll be able to push off this Reaper once the Queen gets out. 4 Lings out, and they're all working on that Reaper now.
Yeah, I really like the choice to do the 4 Lings as well. Quite often players have been leaning towards building 6 Lings, 4 to defend against the Reaper, and the drone just get picked off. 4 to defend against the Reaper and 2 to go across the map and harass the CC. But of course, you can't really do that on Vani Research Station because it's got an in-base natural. So just 4 is really all you need to keep that Reaper running away. And that's what it's going to do. It did get a drone kill though, which is a big bonus for Smile.
Most definitely. Any kill anywhere is a good bonus for Smile in this position. That Reaper will just barely get out right there and is hanging on there. Now, there is a Queen out for PengWin. There are actually 2 Queens out for PengWin, so he should be fine. But back to Smile, seeing what he kind of did in the first game, at least I think it will be Hellions, because he does have the reactor out, pumping out those Hellions and maybe going for another Banshee play. He is on double gas in his main, so it looks like it could be the same build that he was kind of aiming for last game, and at least from PengWin also could be the same build, because they look quite similar, just different maps.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see the same thing at PengWin. This time he's throwing down a third
Yeah.
base, and there's no Roach Warren. And Overlord speed as well. Really, really nice fast Overlord speed before his lair. Means that he's going to have a good idea of what's going on in Smile's base, and obviously he can then deduce how best to react to it. And something's really good. A lot of Zerg players who play more like slightly more defensive macros on, take it later in the game, can get fast overlord speed, because scouting is one of the most important things, especially for Zerg, to try and actually react to what your opponent is doing before they do it, ideally.
Yeah, most definitely. As a Zerg, you want to know when they're going to come, or at least when they're going to, or you want to know what their composition is, but at least when they're going to attack, so you can go heavy into whatever you need to be. Because that Zerg, just the ability to pump out so many at the same time helps you in that position. But Smile will be moving out with these 5 Hellions, or 4 Hellions, and they're not actually going to check this El Naga tower, just bypassing that, so it looks like PengWin will know it's coming, pumping out 10 Lings, and I'd love to see these 2 Queens try to move down to the ramp, but apparently he's saying no, also getting out some Roaches, so I feel like for right now, PengWin should be okay. I mean, definitely this 3rd hatch won't go down because of these Hellions, so I feel like he's going to be in a fine position so far.
No way. There's 6 Roaches on the way as well. Just these few Lings can really kind of push the Hellions away. With 6 Hellions, though, now, it's going to be a bit more difficult for the Lings to deal with, but the Roaches are out. They're just sort of hitting the field and getting down to that 3rd base, and they'll be there to fortify it and make sure that it stays safe.
Yeah, no, I'm just curious. We saw this in Game 1, but also now going for the early armory for Smile. But it didn't seem like in that first game he went really heavy into mech. Obviously, he did have some Hellbats, but he didn't. I mean, yeah, just Hellbats was it. So I feel like it's a bit of a investment. What do you think he's doing that for? To get Hellbats, or
Hellbats? Absolutely. I mean, Hellbats are strong enough that an armory for them is not too unreasonable. You're going to be getting an armory at some point anyway, just to get your 2-2 upgrades. So it's not that big an investment. Obviously, a little bit earlier on, it's not optimal, but if you can do damage with the Hellbats, it's definitely really good, and it's very easy to do them if you morph them inside the base. Though, at the minute, the Hellions mobility will do a little bit more damage, they're going to just get straight into the drone line, roast away quite a few drones here. And more and more losses being taken by PengWin. Yeah, 8 so far, as you say, getting into the natural as well. There can be another 3 or 4 that went down that volley, and now they're lining up.
Yeah, and lining up. Whoa, a lot right there. So far, 23 workers dead for PengWin right here. And even if these Hellions are taken out, that's a really great investment for him. Actually going to the natural again, I don't think he's going to be able to take out this Queen even if he tries. Roaches are just going to get there too fast on creep. 2 Hellions get out, but 25 workers dead, so that is really big. Oh, interesting. Oh, for a second I thought Smile was actually going to run back into the main. It looks like he will be pushed back. But even with that, Smile's in a great position. And Smile putting on 3 barracks, going double engineering base, so definitely going to go into very strong bio. And as we were saying, Hellbats, which complement each other very, very well. Even when your opponent, PengWin, is trying to go Mutalisk, which generally would be the counter to the Hellbat drop style.
Yeah, and this is absolutely horrendous of PengWin, taking so many drone losses so early on. It's going to delay when he actually switches into his army. It's just going to hurt his econ and all his tech timing so much. And of course, Smart still has the opportunity the option to put on more aggression. He's still got two Banshees on the field, but he's actually keeping them back at home to try and defend his 3rd base as and when he pushes out. And I think this is a pretty decent decision, because PengWin, the 2 responses to taking so much damage are generally either like try and go, damn it, that was annoying, and macro your way out of it just by getting your worker count back up, or go, well, now I've taken a ton of damage, but he's lost most of his units, all of his map control, he won't have any idea if I do it all in until it hits him, and just pump out a ton of Roaches and try and bust him. So Smile keeping those Banshees at home kind of keeps him a little bit safer against that, though I still feel having them out on the map is a better option, because they can at least kite the Roaches across the map then. I don't know.
Definitely, yeah, they can at least kite them, and definitely Smile can get a scout in here with Cloak. Doesn't even have to attack anything, it'll help him just to be a little bit aggressive, because the best defense is a good offense. Even in this situation, you can see what your opponent is at least doing. But the Overseer will get there in time, and these Banshees cannot engage. And I really like this Spore Crawler from PengWin, just in a very nice position you wouldn't normally think of, but definitely will help him.
Yeah, it kind of protects drone transfers a little bit as well from the main to the natural, and that can be one of the biggest sources. Sorry, the main to the 3rd base, and that can be one of the biggest sources of like these little pick-off kills when you've got several Spore Crawlers out. They just sort of, the Banshees just sort of stay there and stop the drone production basically in one of the bases. They are going to take a couple spore products, and it actually looks like the Banshees are all going to go down here, training themselves off the best they can for as many drones as possible before the Mutalisks pick them off. And of course, this does reveal the Mutalisks to Smile, and he can start to respond appropriately. And we see in the production tab 4 turrets just finishing up in response to that.
Yeah, most definitely. Smile will be prepared, and his natural, at least, he's got 2 turrets there and should be fine with that. And he's pumping out a very nice steady stream of Marines. Double reactor. Reactor on 4 different barracks, so pumping out 8 Marines at a time here. Smile will be moving on the top left-hand side of the map, but back at home, on his natural, this cloud of 9 meters trying to engage, picking off units here and there, and they should actually be able to take out at least both these supply depots, which should be a nice little win for Smile right there. Sorry, I'm PengWin. Smile moving in right now. I feel like he really wants these tanks behind this army, so any of this very heavy roach stuff will not kill them, but so far there's really nothing for PengWin at the moment. The scan will go down, so at least PengWin knows something's about to hit him, and he's trying to prepare for it, but it really does not have that much right now. 24 Ling is trying to be pumped out. Tank sieged up, very nice position. So far, Marines aren't actually being stimmed forward, even though he has stim. Okay, stimming forward now. Trying to dance with these roaches, but it looks like they'll pull back. If they can just focus down that 3rd hatch, they'll be in a fine position.
Yeah, and they're going to get that. PengWin is waiting for his Banelings to engage, but they don't actually have speed yet either. So Smile is going to be faster than the Banelings on creep, and it's going to be a really, really tough engagement for PengWin to make work here. We're going to try and do it, get his way in. One of the tanks has gone down, so that's pretty nice, and a few of the Marines bunch up a little bit. The 2nd tank falls to the Mutalisks, and it looks like PengWin will clean this up eventually, but at the cost of his 3rd base.
Yeah, at the cost of his 3rd base, and Smile just has a very nice production line going right here, though. As I was saying before, just so many Marines being able to pump out. So even though he's pushed this back, Smile should have an answer, and it looks like he does already. Stimming his Marines a little bit preemptively, but I think he's just trying to be extra safe here. And I'm really concerned in the very beginning that Hellion never took out the Ling at the Xel'Naga Tower, and the Ling's still hanging out there and giving a lot of vision. Okay, it looks like Smile will go in for it, though. To say that Ling has just provided so much vision for PengWin, not of actually seeing his unit, or not of actually seeing his opponent, but just giving the opportunity to fall back into that position and knowing, okay, no units are currently in the radius of the Xel'Naga.
Yeah, and that is one of the interesting things about Vulnerable Research Station, is the Xel'Naga actually doesn't really cover the main attack path. It just covers the kind of extraneous ones and drop paths. But Smile is doing his best to avoid the vision that Xel'Naga Tower grants and going all the way up the left-hand side. But 21 Banelings coming in for PengWin right now is pretty good. However, Smile will have +1 vehicle weapons and +2/+2 on his infantry by the time, or when he takes this engagement. And the 4th base gets absolutely smashed down, doesn't even get a chance to complete. I kind of feel like the natural base will follow pretty quickly, but this is a lot of Banelings moving in.
Wow.
And they're going to try and get a good detonation on the Marines. The C-tanks go down immediately to focus fire on the Mutalisks. But a Thor coming into the mix is going to be really, really difficult for these Mutants to deal with. The Banes actually try and go into it just to burst it down, but without really enough, it's going to do a lot of damage to these Mutants, especially with a nice little bit of medevac magic here. And GG says PengWin, Smile, 2 zeros.
Wow,
team captain.